Hello, everyone. Oh, my image seems all strange. That's a little more normal. Okay. Now I'm not seeing very many people. There we go. Okay, where's Mike? Let's wait another minute or two. Well, we'll get started. Okay, so please make the mudra for the mandala offering. Here is the great earth, filled with the smell of incense and covered with a blanket of flowers. The great mountain of four continents, wearing a jewel of the sun and the moon. In my mind, I make them the paradise of a Buddha and offer it all to you. By this deed, may every living being experience the pure world. Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niryatayame. I go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I achieve enlightenment. By the power of the goodness that I do in giving them the rest, may I reach Buddhahood for the sake of every living being. I go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I achieve enlightenment. By the power of the goodness that I do in giving them the rest, may I reach Buddhahood for the sake of every living being. I go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I achieve enlightenment. By the power of the goodness that I do in giving them the rest, I will reach Buddhahood for the sake of every living being. Okay, let's do some rejoicing. Let's start with Svetlana.
Should we rejoice just about today something or in a couple of days?
Today's
What?
fine.
Today.
Today is fine.
Today. Then today maybe it's more internal, but today I tried to calm down my mind, not to be anxious, like come earlier, and then I listened to the ACI classes recordings, and it really helped me not to plant more seeds of anxious and more seeds of anxiety. And I also helped with reminders, so it will create calmness and support in future for me.
Good. Well, I'm sorry you were anxious. I know how that feels. Okay, who's next? Boy, I just can't even begin to pronounce these Russian names. I think that Katrina. Katrina? Yeah.
Hello, yes, I'm Ekaterina. I rejoice that today I have a birthday and I have a talk with my parents. Thank you. They say for me very touching words, and I say them thank you for giving me life. And many people congratulation me.
Mm-hmm.
And this is very nice and touching.
Let's sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Katerina. Happy birthday to you.
С днем
Thank you.
рождения тебя.
Okay, who's next? Claudia, you're next.
Good morning. I wanted to rejoice today about that today in the morning, my husband and I, we did our morning practice. I'm trying to change and use the word of, I not did my practice in the morning. I did my morning practice and then I'm doing my practice during the day. That's something that really, really helps me a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome. Very good. That's exactly right. You did your morning practice, not the practice. Very good. Okay, who's next? I have no idea. Is it Tatiana? So it's your turn, Tatiana, to rejoice.
Это я? Здравствуйте. Я вчера сделала из курса «Духовные отношения» медитацию на создание отношений.
Can you please
Я очень довольна собой, потому что я несколько дней не могла никак решиться. Я сегодня сделала контрольную работу номер 4. Я очень горжусь тем, что я это сделала прям к этому уроку. И я начала сегодня, ну, вернее, даже в субботу, но сегодня уже официально помогать админам в чате ICI 5.
I can't hear you.
Да, я вас слышу.
Oh, there's interpretation. Okay. No, I'm not getting it.
Нет, я волонтер на ICI 5. Админ чата.
I can. What am I doing wrong here?
Venerable Sumati, you have to go to English channel so you can listen the translation.
I'm on the English channel.
Okay. Can you please, Natalia, translate? Thank you.
I can't hear Natalia. I don't know what's going on.
Just a minute, I will try to switch Natalia for translation.
Okay, I'm on interpretation. I'm on English. No, I don't hear.
I can hear you. Maybe you have your volume.
Oh, let me.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes? Oh,
Yeah.
great. Tatiana told us that today she has practiced her meditation for spiritual partnership. So she rejoiced for practicing this meditation. And also she finished her quiz work for number 4, but I forgot ACI number, the number of the course. And she is volunteering for ACI 5 in the chat, like as an administrator. So she, ACI 5 administrator.
Very good. I rejoice in your helping. That sets the karma for you to get the teachings you need in the future. Excellent. Okay, Alexander, what do you have to rejoice in?
Hello. I rejoice that this weekend I visited my parents who live about 1 hour away. So in this, I dedicate that I also see people more often who are far away, such as for example, precious teacher. And further, I dedicate this to all the lonely people and also to my partnership.
Oh, very good. I hope you had a nice visit.
Yes.
Did all the kids go with you?
No, only the youngest three.
Okay. I don't see your lovely wife here.
Yes, she has to go to school today. Parents' evening.
Oh, okay.
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 Sorry.
Okay, who's left here? I think, who am I missing? One person isn't. Anastasia? I don't see her. She was on the screen before. Am I missing anybody? I thought Anastasia was, well, maybe she, okay. Well, let's get on with class. Okay, I'm going to try sharing screen. I've had some interesting, Zoom is doing some strange things on my computer. So we're going to try and share screen and have class. So here we go. Okay, you should be seeing definition of nirvana. Yeah, okay.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So today's class is, what is nirvana? So the definition of nirvana is a cessation which comes from the individual analysis and which consists of having eliminated the mental affliction obstacles and seeds for them in their entirety from your mental stream. So we're going to go through this with the important points now. I'm going to send you these slides, so don't worry so much about writing everything down, just listen. Okay, a cessation. Cessation means to stop something permanently. So here we're talking about the cessation of mental affliction obstacles. So they're completely stopped. Individual analysis means the realization of the four Arya truths. We'll talk about in a second. Mental afflictions. Mental affliction is anything that disturbs your mind. Now, mostly we talk about mental afflictions in the bad, anger, ignorance, things like that. But I think we've all had that instance where we get some really good news. And so we get overexcited. Anything, I would define mental afflictions as anything that overstimulates your mind. So the definition really comes to be mental affliction, anything that disturbs your peace of mind. So again, we tend to think of it as only the bad, but if you get so excited about good news that it disturbs your peace of mind and that you get overly stimulated. Okay, seeds, karmic potential. So a cessation which comes from the individual analysis, the four Arya truths, which consists of having eliminated the mental affliction obstacles, things which disturb your mind, and the seeds for these obstacles in their entirety from your mental stream. After the direct perception of emptiness, you stop creating new causes for suffering, but you have old seeds to experience. You just don't react to them. So what this means is when you reach nirvana, you've ceased your mental afflictions. They don't come up. So you stub your toe. You don't get angry. You look down at your toe and you say, well, I stubbed my toe. That's my karma ripening. But you don't get all upset and hop around and get worried about your toe. So the four Arya truths are what you see during your direct perception of emptiness. The truth of suffering. And the reason they're called the four Arya truths and not the four noble truths is they're what an Arya sees during the direct perception of emptiness. So noble truth seems to imply something about kings and queens and princes and stuff. And that's, Geshe Michael thinks that's a bad interpretation. So, truth of suffering, life is suffering. You see that. Truth of the cause of suffering, you see that the cause of suffering is your own past deeds, karma. That's where all suffering comes from, period. Anything that's good, anything that's bad, anything in your life is coming from your past deeds. So that's truly the cause of suffering. The truth of the end of suffering, you see during the direct perception of emptiness how many lives you have left before total enlightenment. So you see that there's going to be an end to your suffering. And the fourth, the truth of the path to the end of suffering, the five paths, which are path of accumulation, path of preparation, path of seeing, where you actually have the direct perception of emptiness. So accumulation is accumulation of merit, virtue to see emptiness directly. Preparation is the teachings and study and developing the meditation skills. Then the path of seeing, the direct perception of emptiness. And habituation, getting used to now knowing that you come back and see things as self-existent still, but you know they aren't. So you're getting habituated to the fact that things truly are not self-existent. Then there's the path of no more learning, or Buddhahood. So there's many types of nirvana. We're just going to talk about four of them. But before we do that, I want to make sure mental afflictions. I was talking about this with my lovely wife, and mental afflictions. So the definition of karma is movement of the mind and what it causes you to do in thoughts and speech. Mental afflictions, like anger, ignorance, cause you to form a karmic seed, to act. So it's very important to remember that mental afflictions are karma. They're what motivates your mind to move. So when you purify that, when you cease having mental afflictions, you won't be making new bad karma. You won't react, but you'll still have bad things happen in your life. So someone who's in nirvana will still have the karma to ripen for something bad to happen in their life, but they won't react to it. So that's the power of having seen emptiness directly. As long as one's mental afflictions are in your mind stream, they will ripen into reoccurrent behaviors. After the direct perception of emptiness, You stop creating new causes for suffering, but you'll still have old seeds to experience. Let's go to types of nirvana. My computer's acting up. The bad thoughts that we have and all our seeds for them are what block, what are the obstacles to reaching nirvana. Bottom line, nirvana is the cessation that comes after the direct perception of emptiness, which occurs during the subsequent wisdom period of seeing one by one the various aspects of the four Arya truths. Practicing them a lot during the fourth path, habituation chips away at the blocks to omniscience. So an everyday example, an angry response to a given situation causes anger to rise again. That's the normal reaction. Not having anger at all is a cessation of anger that can only occur once you understand the Four Noble Truths. So stopping your angry reactions is what begins to weed out these seeds. So let's go through the types of nirvana real briefly. Natural, we're only going to discuss one today. It's natural nirvana. Natural nirvana is also called ultimate reality, which is a code word for emptiness. Ultimate reality or ultimate truth. Every object has natural nirvana, the absence of self-nature. It's emptiness. Deceptive reality. So existence is ultimate deceptive reality. Deceptive reality is the deceptive truth, where you see things as self-existent. Okay. Let's get rid of the slideshow. So, the important thing about nirvana, now you can see perhaps why some schools take nirvana to be enlightenment, because it must be awfully pleasant to not be reacting negatively, not having mental afflictions, not even having, you stub your toe, you don't even think about getting mad because you've ceased, knowing that by the direct analysis of the four Arya truths, you know how not to perpetuate your suffering. Next class, we'll discuss the other three. So what's the point of nirvana? Well, that's not what the point is. It's a goal you reach. It's your first goal, having after the direct perception of emptiness, you have the bodhisattva bhumis, and you get to nirvana, the cessation by direct analysis. Now, if you have bodhicitta in your heart, Mahayana bodhicitta, that isn't sufficient, and you need to go further. But if you're a self-made Buddha or a Hinayana practitioner, it's a very pleasant existence because you're not getting mad anymore. You're burning off the bad karma, the karma that generates suffering. And eventually you have a very pleasant world to live in because you burned off the seeds. But you'll still have a lot of seeds to burn off. but you don't respond negatively. So just think what that would be like, having something happen and responding with wisdom constantly. So that's what we're trying to do now, even though we're not in nirvana. We're trying to burn off the negative seeds. So if something happens, for instance, you stub your toe, and instead of getting mad, you say, it's my karma ripening. I did something to harm somebody else in the past. I'll go out of my way not to harm anybody in the future. And eventually that's going to make the things that cause me pain to disappear. Now, part of our problem with nirvana is that we don't remember that we have a lot of negative seeds to ripen and not perpetuate. So we just have to hang in there. What else do I want to say about nirvana? Well, let's go back to the definition. Nirvana is a cessation that comes from individual analysis and which consists of having eliminated the mental affliction obstacles and seeds for them. So literally, nirvana means to blow out or extinguish. So if you blow out the mental afflictions, you're not going to be creating new bad karma. So that's the goal. We can pretend we're in nirvana by not reacting negatively to deeds, but we're not there yet until we have the actual complete cessation. Okay. That's a really short class. I'm not sure I think what happened is Geshe Michael had things to do at the monastery and go back to India. So he couldn't really teach these classes, or maybe there were business issues. He couldn't have longer classes. So, any questions? Oh, there she is. Well, I want to go through something we're going to go through later in this class, this course. But, well, no, I won't do that today. I think it'll be too confusing. Okay. Okay, let's do this. Let's review natural nirvana. Natural nirvana is not really a nirvana, but it's included because it can never cause mental afflictions. The ultimate truth is ultimate reality, and it's one half of existence. The other half of existence is deceptive truth. When we say ultimate truth, we're not saying something is like true or a lie. Ultimate truth means the reality in which the way things appear and the way they actually exist is the same. So when you have ultimate truth, you see things as not self-existent, and they aren't self-existent. In deceptive truth, you think things are self-existent, and that's fake. That's if you're fooled into thinking things are self-existent. So a Buddha, totally enlightened being, a Buddha, sees ultimate truth and deceptive truth simultaneously, which is hard to conceive of. But a Buddha would see, okay, Sumati has Parkinson's. He thinks he has Parkinson's self-existently, but ultimately he doesn't. So it's a matter of karma ripening or not ripening. Whereas in my situation, I think I understand, but I really am seeing deceptive truth. because probably deep down in my mind, as much as I profess to believe that it's not self-existent, I take medication thinking the medication's going to self-existently help me when it isn't necessarily going to. The reason the medication's helping me is because of my past helping others get the kind of care they need. So the deceptive truth for me is I take the pill, and if I don't remember to say, this is working because of my helping others with their health problems, then I'm falling under deceptive truth. So each time something happens, you need, and this is why we do rejoicing. And this is why I urge you when you rejoice to think of the wisdom aspect. I think rejoicing without wisdom is pretty much a waste of time. By rejoicing with wisdom, you're setting the seeds to understand where each thing's coming from. So we've talked about the how and the why. The how and the why of my Parkinson's. Deceptive truth would be to just say, I've got Parkinson and this medication's going to help me because it's because that's why they designed the medication. Whereas a proper thing for me to do is when I take the pills, say to myself, the reason this medicine's working today is because of my helping others. By my taking this medicine and understanding why it's working, how it's working, I'm setting the future for myself to have it work. Instead of just taking it and taking a swallow of water and moving on with my day. So it's really, I just can't stress enough how important it is to constantly keep in mind the wisdom aspect of everything you're doing during the day. The karma is ripening. You're not responding negatively or overjoyously. You know where it comes from. So the how and the why has to be on your mind all day. And I like it, and it brings me joy to be thinking this all the time, because it's reinforcing the fact that I understand intellectually to some extent where things come from, why things are happening. Never catch yourself, well, you're going to catch yourself saying it's your karma, but you really should be saying it's your karma so. And that's what nirvana is. Nirvana, you're ripening your karma, and you don't have a negative reaction, the instinctive reaction, because you know that by not having that reaction, you're setting the seeds to not have unpleasantness in your future. Seems sort of obvious in retrospect, but it's easy during the day to not think, to think it's my karma, but. Okay. So I'd like you to memorize the definition of nirvana in your meditation for the next 3 days. Is imagine what it would be like to reach nirvana. Okay, let's dedicate. This is really a short class. Okay, let's do our dedication. By the goodness of what I've just done, may all beings complete the collection of merit and wisdom, and thus gain the two ultimate bodies that merit and wisdom make. One of these days, we'll have a 2-hour class, and you're going to read rejoice in the fact that these classes were short. Okay. Good to see you all. Happy birthday, Katerina. Hope you have a pleasant day and eat a piece of cake from me. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you. See you.